A woman found a ship in the desert, her smile instantly widening. She thought she had finally been rescued, but as she approached, she realized it was a wreck, an abandoned vessel. Undeterred, she entered the cabin, searching for a glimmer of hope. However, the greater her hope, the greater her despair. After a short walk, she saw that everything useful had been destroyed. In desperation, she looked for her lighter and thought of a way to attract attention. She found a tire with great difficulty, pushed it down, and set it on fire. Black smoke immediately obscured half the sky, hoping someone might see her. The woman had to leave quickly, as her 4-year-old son was still trapped inside. If she didn't return quickly, the scorching sun would burn him like a dried fruit. Seeing this, the mother simply tried to wake him up with her voice. But when that didn't work, the woman poured water, which she had finally found, under the car to reduce the heat. She then gathered a handful of dry wood from nearby and placed it in front of the car. She then lit it with a lighter. Seeing white smoke rising, she began waving her hand to push the smoke into the car's ventilation duct. The woman intended to force the car door open with the smoke, but this trick damaged the car's only exhaust fan. Realizing her mistake, she quickly used all the water she had to extinguish the fire. However, her mistake caused the temperature inside the car to rise rapidly. Desperately, she picked up a wrench and swung it around, but it was too sharp to cause any damage. Hours had passed, and her son hadn't moved in the car, leading her to mistakenly believe he was dead. But then the child's hand suddenly moved, and a glimmer of hope flashed in the woman's eyes. Before she could rejoice, a stray dog suddenly attacked her. She tried to climb onto the roof, but the heat prevented her, and she rolled under the car. But faced with such a tempting prey, the dog wouldn't back down. It grabbed the woman's leg. She struggled and finally freed herself from the dog's grip, but her movements caused the car to slide downward, and the woman had to use her body to stop the accident. But her frail frame couldn't stop the heavy car. It seemed as if it would fall off the cliff. At that moment, a tire caught on a rock, averting a major tragedy. But the woman couldn't breathe a sigh of relief. If she hadn't opened the car door, her son inside would have died. At that moment, the woman looked at the cliff ahead, and a dangerous thought suddenly came to her mind. With all her might, she pushed the car off the edge. Her 4-year-old son was still inside, but without hesitation, she let go of the car and let it plummet down the cliff. The woman stood motionless, watching her son fall with the car. As the car plummeted, its automatic safety system sensed the danger and immediately sounded an alarm, activating the car's defenses. Seeing the car plummet to the ground, he slammed on the car window. As the woman was making her last effort, a round light on the car door caught her attention. After a few seconds of waiting, she finally reacted. Then, hoping for a good opportunity, she placed her left hand on the door and pulled hard. As soon as the door opened, tears of joy welled up in her eyes, and she rushed to get her son out. The child had already fainted. The woman knew it was best to get him to the hospital, so she got back into the car. Although she was afraid of the car, she took the risk to save her son's life. Despite falling off the cliff, the car started. The woman was overjoyed, and she quickly put it into gear and pressed the accelerator. The car was still moving fast, but before she had time to rejoice, another challenge arose. Since they were now at the bottom of the cliff, climbing up the cliff would be very difficult. The car slowly began to rise. She took a deep breath and pressed the accelerator again, and the car accelerated toward the top of the cliff.